Author's POV at the reception. You were standing in a corner while looking at the decoration. Today is your sister's wedding reception. You were wearing a simple white gown. You walk towards the stage as your sister calls you. You hurriedly walk towards her and suddenly bumped into someone and was about to fall, but the person held you and saved you from falling. You looked at the person with wide eyes. You gulped after looking at his dark blue eyes. You got up and stood properly and went from there without saying anything. He looked at you from behind, fearful. He mumbled softly and chuckled before going away. Onni, you called me? You looked at your sister's husband and smiled. Nuna. You all hear someone's voice and look backwards. Jimin, they both smiled. I'm sorry, I won't be able to come to your wedding, but as I promised, I'll come to your reception, and I'm here, he said. And here's the wedding gift for the newly wedded couple. Yuna and Roy smiled and felt happy to see him. He looked at him with a confused expression. Jimin, meet her, my sister Wan, she said while pointing towards you, and he looked at you. His heartbeat goes faster after looking at you again as he didn't notice you earlier. Wan, he's my brother-in-law. You got nervous after he looked at you with his dark blue eyes. But suddenly he extended his hand towards you and said, Hi, I'm Park Jimin. He was waiting for your response, but you didn't say anything. He looked at you confused, then suddenly Yuna spoke. Jimin, she's mute. He looked at Yuna with a shocked expression and she nodded. It's okay, but you can do a handshake, right? He asked for a handshake and you looked at your sis and she nodded. You both had a handshake and he smiled and felt your soft touch. I hope you don't mind her behavior, cause it's okay, Nuna. By the way, she's sweet. He said and all smiled where he was admiring you secretly. Suddenly the music turns on and everyone starts to dance. Nuna, what about a performance of you with Hyung? No, it's okay. I have to also looking for one, so I can't leave her alone. Oh, okay, fine. You go with Hyung, I'm with her, he said, and they both smiled. You looked at your sister and thought how she always sacrificed her memorable moments just because of you. So you signal your sister that you will be okay and now she should enjoy her memorable moments. What about we all had a dance performance together? Jimin will be a partner, man. You got nervous, but Jimin was flying on the ninth cloud. Yes, Nuna, that will be perfect. You were about to deny, but he pulled you on the stage. After the dance, you were roaming around to get fresh air, as today you felt something strange. Don't know why, usually you don't comfortable with anyone in your first meeting, but with him it's different. You felt thirsty, so you took a chill drink and had 2 glasses. Jimin, me and Roy had to go for our honeymoon. We will be late for our flight. Will you please take Wan with you? Don't know where she went. Will you please take care of her? Because I can't leave her alone and I only believe in you. I'll take care of her, Nuna. Just enjoy your time with Hyung, he said with assurance, and they both went. Jimin went to find you and saw you sleeping on the chair in a corner. He smiled after looking at you from afar. He walks near you and lifts you in his arms. before heading towards his car. He made you sit inside his car and start driving to the park mansion. He took you inside his mansion while you were in his arms. Welcome, master. She welcomed him and then her eyes went to you, who was sleeping in his arms. Sir, she is fine, ma'am, isn't it? He nodded and said, prepare a guest room for her. Everything is ready, master. She said and he nodded. He started to take you upstairs while Mari was looking at Jimin with a surprised expression, cause this is the first time she has seen him with a girl. He made you lay on the bed and his face was really close to you that he could even smell the alcohol. He chuckled and said, stupid girl. Drink without having any alcohol tolerance. He looked at your figure from head to toe. He was feeling something strange after meeting with you. He looked at your dress, which is a bit revealing and not perfect for the night, so he called Mari to change your clothes. Please make her wear something comfortable. But master, you don't have any female clothes. Made her wear something from my closet. She nodded. Next morning, you got up and found yourself in a strange room. You walked out of the room and searched for anyone. You walk towards a room as you are hearing some noises. You peek inside the room from the corner and it's a gym room. You saw Jimin, who was focused while doing his morning routine. He was only in his sweatpants and his whole body was covered with sweat and also the sweat dripping from his forehead. He was looking extremely You looked and suddenly he disappeared from your sight. You got confused. You turned and find him standing behind you. You flinched after seeing him in front of you. He was standing close to you, which made your heart beat fast. And you were nervous at all. Good morning, he said while you just nodded. What are you doing here? You shook your head. You gestured to him that, why are you here? Oh, Nuna told me to take you here. Then suddenly you looked at your clothes and frowned. Mine, he suddenly said, and you looked at him confused. I mean, the clothes are mine. You were uncomfortable in that dress. I'll bring your luggage today. You asked why. You will be living here until Nuna comes. You looked at him being shocked and shook your head. I promise, Nuna, that I will take care of you. He said while taking some step towards you, made you move backwards, and you stumbled as something came between your feet. But before you fell, he held you. His face was close to you, and he whispered something in your ear. Why are you scared of me, sweetheart? He said as he can feel your heartbeats. You can freshen up. I'll prepare something for breakfast. He was about to go, but suddenly you held his hand. He stopped and looked at you and then at your hand. And suddenly you removed your hand and signaled him that you want to make the breakfast cause you like cooking. Fine, I don't have any problem. But I'll help you too cause you are my guest, he said while smiling. You asked him what he wanted to eat. Pancakes. You nodded. You prepared a batter of pancakes where he was admiring you. Jimin in mind. God, she's totally wife material. Wine, what's your age? I mean, you looked young. She nodded and told him your age, with the help of your fingers. 21, very young. Mine is 32. He said, and you got surprised cause he also looks young. I know I'm handsome. He said, and you laughed. His heart feels some kind of peace after seeing the smile on your face. You know, you look cute whenever you smile. He said, and your cheeks turn red. It's been 4 days since you were here. You both have become friends, and he also helps you a lot in everything. Now you both were sitting together in the balcony and taking the night view with dim lights while reading the books. Jimin was reading the book for you and you were listening carefully. It was a romantic novel cause you like romantic novels. Where on the other hand, the Mafia king, who never believed in love, never thought he would fall in love with someone. But it's true, the Mafia king is started to fall in love. And then the beast fall in love with the beauty. He finished the last line of the story and looked at you where you were sleeping while your head was resting on his shoulder. He looked at your face and it was shining because of the moon. He kissed your cheeks with his hand and whispered to himself, "Love." Really, the beast falls in love with his beauty. You are too innocent to handle me, love. He whispered and brushed his lips on your cheeks as he was getting insane. He also fell asleep there with you. Next morning, Van opened the door. What happened? Why are you crying? He was standing in your room, outside the washroom as he heard of you crying in the morning. He thought that he would have made some mistake or something. Love, I swear I will break the door if you don't open. He said and broke the door and saw you sitting on the floor while holding your stomach. He looked at you and saw your dress was stained in blood. He walked near you and cupped your face and said, "Btsff?" he asked. Your face was covered with the tears. He wiped your tears and made you stand and said, "I'm sending Mari to help you." He was about to go, but suddenly you held his hand. He looked at you and you shook your head. What happened? He asked. You told him with the gestures that, "What do you want?" He helps you as you told him. He felt happy that now you trust him like your sister. After 2 days, Wine, what happened? What are you thinking? You told him with the gestures, "You will be leaving after Nuna will come, right?" He said and you nodded. His eyes are getting dark. You won't go anywhere, he said and you looked at him. You walked near him and sat beside him. Then suddenly he hugged you tightly. He snuggles into your neck as he feels peace whenever you are near him. He whispered near your ear, I miss you. You smiled as he is the first person in your life who has some kind of attachment with you. Because except your sister, no one loves you just because you are mute. You hugged him back, and tears came out of your eyes. He pulled you towards him, and you landed on his. Don't go. You looked at him with a sad expression. He looked at your tears and wiped them with his thumb. He closely looked at your face features. He moved his face close to you. You close your eyes as you are nervous, and in a second you feel his on yours. He slowly kissed you, and you also melted by him, and after a minute you both break the kiss, and you won't be able to make eye contact with him as you were nervous because this is the first time you were feeling something new. Love, look at me. You shook your head. He held your chin and slowly made you look at him. Your eyes were closed. Open your eyes, love. He said, but you won't open. Then suddenly, he slowly kissed both of your eyes. You felt his soft lips. At last, you slowly opened your eyes and looked at him. As you looked at him, you fisted his collar tightly. What happened? He asked. You gestured to him that this is all wrong what we are doing. Nothing is wrong, sweetheart. You got up and made a safe distance from him. He frowned. Love. He called you, but you shook your head. You again gestures that this is wrong. Why do you keep saying it's wrong, huh? I love you, then what's wrong with this? You looked at in his eyes with wide eyes, as you didn't expect this. Yes, I love you since the day I met you, he said while walking towards you. I can't live without you, he said and held your hand before kissing the back of your palm. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Only you. Can I get some space in your heart? A little? I promise I will fill your heart with lots of happiness. Tell me, love. He asked while cupping your face, your eyes filled with tears. Can I be a part of your life? He asked while whispering near your ear, and his lips were touching your ear, giving you chills or some sensation in your body. You slowly hugged him and nodded before snuggling into his neck. He smiled and hugged you back before saying, The end.